The Senate will come to order. Senator Herpin will lead us in the pledge.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Majors, would you please take the roll?
Aguilar, Balmer, Baumgartner, Brophy, Cadman, Crowder, Grantham, Guzman, Harvey, Heath, Herpin, Hill, Hodge, John, Johnston, Jones, Kafalis, Kerr, King, Lambert, Lundberg, Marble, Newell, Nicholson, Renfro.
Excused?
Rivera, Roberts, Sheffel, Schwartz, Stedman, Tocktrop, Todd, Ulibarri, Zenzinger. Madam President.
Sure. With 34 present, 0 absent, 1 excused, Senate has a quorum. Motion to adopt the journal, Senator Kerr.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the reading of the journal of Thursday, February 20th be dispensed with and the journal be approved as corrected by our wonderful secretary.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Committee reports.
Senator Baumgartner said
February 20th, 2014, Madam President, the Committee on Education has had under consideration and has had hearing on the following appointments and recommends the appointments be confirmed. Members of the Board of Governors of the Colorado State University System for terms expiring December 31st, 2017, Scott C. Johnson of Kit Carson, Colorado, to serve as a member who has substantial experience in the production of agriculture and as a Republican reappointed. Jane Rob Rhodes of Pueblo West, Colorado, to serve as a Republican appointed, and Nancy R. Tour of Parker, Colorado, to serve as a Democrat appointed. February 20th, 2014, Madam President, the Committee on Education has had under consideration and has had a hearing on the following appointment and recommends the appointment be confirmed. member of the State Board for Community Colleges and Occupational Education, effective December 31st, 2013, for a term expiring December 31st, 2017. Gene K. White of Hayden, Colorado, a Republican and a resident of the 3rd Congressional District, reappointed. February 20th, 2014, Committee on Education. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following Senate Bill 114 be amended as follows and as so amended before the Committee of the Whole in favorable recommendation.
Senate Services.
February 21st, 2014, correctly engrossed Senate Joint Resolution 12, correctly re-engrossed Senate Bills 43 and 135, correctly revised House Bills 1035, 1086, and 1146, correctly enrolled Senate Joint Resolutions 5, 8, 13, and 14.
Message from the House.
February 20th, 2014, Madam President, the House has passed on third reading and transmitted the advisory statutes House Bill 1172. February 20th, 2014, Madam President, the House has adopted and returns here with Senate Joint Resolution 12.
Please add Senator Renfro to the roll. Message from the Reviser.
February 20th, 2014, we herewith transmit without comment House Bill 1172.
Members, we are on third reading of bills. Consent. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title to the bills listed on the consent calendar?
House Bill 1086 by Representative Murray and Senator Jones concerning a requirement that a legal notice published in a newspaper is also published on a statewide website maintained by a majority of Colorado newspapers. House Bill 1035 by Representative Gardner and Senator Johnston concerning a collection of restitution ordered pursuant to a deferred judgment.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the adoption of all the bills in the third reading of bills consent calendar, which includes House Bills 1086 and 1035.
Is there any discussion on any of the bills on the consent calendar? Seeing none, the question before the body are the adoption of those bills. Are there any no votes on either of those bills? Senator Renfro.
Thank you. I wish to be a no on 1086, please.
Senator Renfro will be a no on 1086. Senator Balmer.
Thank you, Madam President. I wish to be a no on House Bill 1086.
Senator Merble.
Thank you, Madam President. I also would like to be a no on House Bill 1086.
Senator Lambert.
Thank you. No on 1086, please.
Is that it? Hang on one second. Going once?
Are there any other no votes on any of the bills on consent? Senator Crowder.
Thank you, Madam President. Due to the expense of it, no on 1086.
Senator Crowder will be a no on 1086. With 30 ayes, 5 noes, 0 absent, and 0 excused, House Bill 1086 is adopted. Co-sponsors. With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 0 excused, House Bill 1035 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Third reading of bills. Mr. Majors, please read the title to House Bill 1241.
Bill?
House Bill 1241 by Representative Duran and Senator Stedman concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Local Affairs.
Senator Stedman. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I move we lay over House Bill 1241 until Wednesday, February 26th.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. House Bill 1241 will lay over until Wednesday, February 26th. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title to House Bill 1146?
House Bill 1146 by Representative Becker and Senator Toktrop concerning a prohibition against greyhound racing in Colorado.
Senator Toktrop.
Thank you, Madam President. I move House Bill 1146 and ask for an aye vote.
Any discussion? Senator Lundberg.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, as I understand this bill, I didn't see it in committee, just heard it on the floor, but as I understand it, what it's doing, it's prohibiting a practice that doesn't occur in order to protect interests of other racing and and it still allows the wagering to occur. So it's simply saying you can't do any greyhound racing that doesn't happen anyway. I'm a no vote.
Senator Lambert?
Thank you, Madam President. And I've been trying to do some research with Office of Legislative Legal Services about what greyhound racing can do now in the state in the current law. And I recall that Representative Frangus and I, back in probably 2007 or something, ran a bill to prohibit greyhound racing. I think that went through. We're trying to find out how we did it because we can't find an actual specific bill that did it, but I'm sure we struck that out because I don't think they can license greyhound racing in the state right now. There was, we had this argument before, and we do have a greyhound racetrack very close to my district in Colorado Springs on North Nevada Boulevard. It had been a greyhound racetrack for a long period of time, and there was some pushback. They said, well, we would like to have the opportunity to have this in the law in case greyhound racing never comes back. But it wasn't going to. It kept this stringing out for a long period of time. And I remember the conversation in the House Finance Committee that, yeah, and I think it might have been in Department of Revenue. We're trying to find out what we did, but I'm pretty sure we took away the opportunity to license greyhounds at that time. So I think we'd already taken it out of the law or taken out the ability to at least license those tracks and so forth to provide some certainty that there was not going to be greyhound racing in Colorado. And so anyway, I just wanted to get that kind of on the record because I think we'd already taken care of the problem, and it surprised me that we're doing it again.
Senator Taktra.
Thank you. And, you know, looking at the bill, and I you know, under definitions, we are striking tracks. And I think that's where maybe some of the stuff was, and we could look back at it, but maybe some of the stuff was struck, but not all of it, when you ran the bill with Representative Frangus in 2009 or whenever. But, you know, this is just, we are not trying to move forward, and I'm not worried about what other states do because that's their prerogative, but what we're just trying to do is clarify the statutes about the greyhound tracks and tell people that they still can do the simulcast betting at the horse track. And presently we only have one horse track here in the state of Colorado. And I'm not even going to bring up any more issues because I don't want to open up that can of worms about betting at the tracks, but this is just simulcast,
Senator Lundberg.
Thank you, Madam President. For my second and final time, we are prohibiting a practice that doesn't occur that was not legal in the first place.
Question is the adoption of House Bill 1146 on third reading. Are there any no votes? Senator Baumgartner, Senator Shuffle, Senator Marble, Senator Renfro, Senator Harvey, Senator Lambert, Senator Lundberg, Senators Brophy, Herpin, Crowder, Hill, Mr. Minority Leader, Senator Rivera, Senator Grantham, Senator King. With 20 ayes, 15 noes, 0 absent, and 0 excused, House Bill 1146 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Stebbins. Senator Newell. General orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Schwartz. You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. Ayes have it. The Senate will resolve itself into a committee of the whole for purpose of considering general orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar, and Senator Schwartz will take the chair. Thank you. Thank you.
The committee will come to order. The court rule is relaxed. Mr. Majors, will you please read the titles to all the bills listed on the consent calendar?
Gail, move that mic.
House Bill 1074 by Representatives Cort and Del Grosso and Senator Johnson concerning payments that a nonprofit owner of a tax-exempt property may receive for reasonable expenses incurred without affecting the tax-exempt status of the property. House Bill 1018 by Representative Hamner and Senator Stedman concerning the requirement that the Department of Revenue prepare a tax profile and expenditure report every 2 years. House Bill 1056 by Representative Holbert and Senator Tocktrop concerning clarification of the statutes relating to the registration of collector's item motor vehicles to specify that certain special emission inspection requirements for collector's item motor vehicles registered prior to the enactment of House Bill 13-1071 continue to apply to those vehicles until they are transferred. House Bill 1111 by Representative Foote and Senator Jones concerning the authority for a municipal volunteer firefighter department retiree to serve on a municipal volunteer firefighter pension board. House Bill 1010 by Representative Hamner and Senator Rivera concerning corrections to statutory provisions relating to the prescribed burning program administered by the Division of Fire Prevention and Control and the Department of Public Safety.
Majority Leader Heath.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the adoption of all the bills on general order, second reading of bills consent calendar and their associated committee reports, which includes House Bills 1074 and its Finance Committee report, House Bill 1018, 1056, 1111, and 1010.
Proper motion. Is there any discussion of the committee report? The motion before the body is the adoption of the reports to all the bills on general orders. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The committee report is adopted. Senator Heath.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move we rise and report.
Senator Heath, I stand corrected. Is there any discussion of any of the bills on the general orders consent calendar? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the bills on the general orders second reading of bills consent calendar. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The bills on the second reading consent calendar are adopted. The Majority Leader Heath.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll do it again. I move we rise and report.
The motion before us is the body rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, the committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come back to order. Senator Schwartz.
And thank you, Madam President. I move for the adoption of the report.
Mr. Majors, would you please read the report?
February 21st, 2014, Madam President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report as item consideration the following attached bills being second reading thereof makes following recommendations are on. House Bill 1074 as amended, House Bills 1018, 1056, 1111, and 1010 passed on second reading in order and revised, placed on the counter for third reading and final passage.
Senator Schwartz renews her motion to adopt the committee of the whole report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, are there any no votes on the committee of the whole report? With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, committee of the whole report is adopted. House Bill 1074 is amended, House Bill 1018, House Bill 1056, House Bill 1111, House Bill 1010 passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. General orders, second reading of bills. Senator Schwartz.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the committee of the whole for consideration general order second reading of bills calendar.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. The Senate will resolve itself into a committee of the whole for purpose of considering general orders second reading of bills calendar. Senator Schwartz will take the chair.
The committee will come to order. The court rule is relaxed. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title to Senate Bill 110?
Senate Bill 110 by Senator Stedman and Representative Giroux concerning the General Assembly's development of recommendations regarding new methods of financing the state's ongoing capital construction needs.
Senator Stedman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 110. There are no committee reports, but I do believe there's an amendment on the desk.
Senator Stedman. Oh, Mr. Majors, would you please read the amendment?
Amendment L001, Senate Bill 110.
Senator Stedman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Amendment L001. And this amendment, Madam Chair, I believe you drafted, and I appreciate your input on the bill. And what this does is it clarifies that nothing in this act changes the responsibilities of either the Capital Development Committee or the Joint Budget Committee, but rather the bill preserves both of their existing roles. And it also requires in the preparation of this new plan that the two committees, that the Joint Budget Committee consult with the Capital Development Committee. I ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Further discussion of the Amendment 1, Senator Lambert? Further discussion of Amendment 1. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of Amendment 1, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say no. Amendment 1 is adopted. And Senator Stedman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Colleagues, this is a bill recommended by the Joint Budget Committee, and it has to do with a minor change to the terms of Senate Bill 228 that was passed in the 2009 legislative session. That bill, as you may know, made commitments for the General Assembly to make 5 years' worth of transfers to capital construction and transportation funding once a certain economic indicator trigger has been hit. At the time the bill was written, it was assumed the trigger would be hit at a certain point, and in fact, we've still not hit that trigger. We're projected to do so next year. But there was an amendment to the bill on the House floor in 2009 that included a date certain in January of 2016 by which a study of what to do next to provide funding for capital construction would be completed. And what this bill does is it postpones that study because the 5 years worth of 228 transfers haven't even kicked in yet, and it postpones it until the 4th year of that 5-year transfer whenever the trigger is hit and the transfers begin. The other thing the bill does is rather than charge the Capital Development Committee with the responsibility to come up with a long-range plan for how we budget for capital construction needs, it instead assigns that responsibility to the Joint Budget Committee, again preserving the roles of the two committees so that the Joint Budget Committee is retaining control of budgeting decisions. That's the bill. I'd ask for your aye vote.
Is there any further discussion of Senate Bill 110? Senator Lambert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, the original passage of 228 had certain trigger dates and so forth, and Senate Bill 110 makes this more reasonable because we haven't hit those triggers yet, but the dates have passed, and it requires reports and a study and things like that. They're expensive, but it's really not appropriate that we do those reports until these new triggers are reestablished. And yes, we do want full transparency of this, but 228 is primarily a revenue issue or a monetary transfer issue of expenditures that go to capital development, to HUTF and other funds. So it's primarily a budget consideration at the end of the day. So it is important that the JBC be notified of this certainly as a primary factor. It's also important that we work in conjunction with CDC to make sure that they have a chance to have their prioritization of those projects. But I think this is something that we need to do right now, and I'd ask for an aye vote.
Any further discussion of Senate Bill 110? Seeing none, all those in favor of Senate Bill 110, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Senate Bill 110 is adopted. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title to Senate Bill 18?
Senate Bill 18 by Senators Nicholson and Jones and Representatives Hamner and Young concerning the prohibition against furnishing nicotine products to persons under 18 years of age.
Senator Nicholson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 18 and the Health and Human Services Committee report.
To the Health and Human Services report.
There were two changes that the Health and Human Services Committee made to the bill. One was to add the word tobacco back into statute. So the bill now says any tobacco or nicotine product is something that youth, someone under 18, cannot access legally. And the second change that the committee made was to strike the word electronic so that it would be any device that can be used to deliver nicotine, not just electronic devices that can be used to deliver nicotine would be illegal for minors to have access to.
Is there any discussion of the committee report from the Health and Human Services Committee? Seeing none, all those in favor of the committee report, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Committee report is adopted. Senator Nicholson. To the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The purpose of Senate Bill 18 is to prevent minors from being exposed to tobacco and becoming addicted to nicotine by clarifying that it is illegal for minors to access all tobacco and nicotine products, not just cigarettes, cigars, or cigarillos. Traditional tobacco and nicotine products like cigarettes and cigars are legally prohibited from being sold to minors. However, the current statute is not as clear as I believe it should be that new nicotine and tobacco containing products are illegal for minors to access. Members, you have on your desks plastic bags that have something that looks like a breath mint, and indeed they're flavored with things like strawberry and mint and mango, and don't put them in your mouth because indeed they have tobacco and nicotine in them. Imagine that a little fifth grader could put those in your pocket and take them to class and not realize how much harm they could be causing themselves, and certainly their teachers and their parents may not realize what they actually are possessing, because it certainly doesn't look like a cigar or a cigarette. With that, I'd like to turn it over to my co-prime sponsor for his comments.
Senator Jones.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, members, if you just look at this breath mint looking candy, I guess you would call it, it gives you a sense of the issue. These are very concealable for somebody who's younger. They're also inexpensive to get, and they're flavored, and they're really targeted at people that like candy, for that matter. And so I think it's just common sense that people under 18 should not be able to get at these things and get a long-term addiction to nicotine. It might lead to smoking. It might lead to just having the nicotine. But the nicotine's the addicting agent, and we want to make sure that you have to be old enough to get this kind of product. So I ask for a yes vote.
Senator Nicholson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to add that evidence-based research suggests that it is very unlikely that adults will initiate use of tobacco or nicotine products. Nearly 95% of individuals who smoke started before they were 18 years of age. The Surgeon General has stated recently that 5.6 million kids who are alive today will die early unless we take immediate action. The USA has the potential to create a tobacco-free generation. We would ask for your support.
Is there further discussion of Senate Bill 18? Yes, Senator Hill.
Oh, I don't want to scare you. No. It's all good. Good morning, colleagues. Happy Friday. Thank you, Madam Chair. Colleagues, this is actually a pretty important bill, and I actually support some components of this bill. I'm concerned about the broad brushstrokes it paints with. It says don't eat the nicotine products on your desk, and I would encourage you, that's actually a good prohibition. They're pretty nasty. Especially if you haven't had any breakfast, you get a little buzz going from them, just so you know, which is really kind of the Dental Association to send a toothbrush and toothpaste in case you do decide to try them. The truth is, these things are already illegal. These nicotine products are already illegal. It's illegal to distribute them. I support the aspect of expanding and increasing the signage and recognizing it's not just about all tobacco but all nicotine products, because some of these really do look like chewing gum. They look like pieces of candy, if you will, and that scares me. My real concern on this bill, though, is while those things are already illegal, it expands this and includes anything having to do with consuming nicotine products. And if we do that, friends, potentially we have the chance that we had some testimony, and I can show you some websites online where you can find a way to smoke nicotine products with just about any household item. And I'm concerned that this expands the opportunity or expands the ban to prevent and potentially criminalize anyone selling something as simple as a Coke bottle or as simple as some basic basic aluminum foil or PVC piping, anything that could potentially be used to smoke. And so by expanding this ban, we're really putting the onus back on shop owners to now police what people intend to use these products with rather than just their surface value. So I'd encourage you, while there are some important aspects of this, it really does not expand the ban on consuming nicotine or tobacco products which already exist. This now just expands the liability for shop owners for some basic household items, and that's where I'm concerned. Thank you.
Senator Lundberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, I supported this in committee. I had told the sponsor I would do that, but I made no guarantees beyond that. And I come down here because there's been some confusion among some members as to why my vote was the way it was in the committee. The good senator from the El Paso area, one of them, well, the good senator, no, one of the good senators from the El Paso area, no man is good, however, made a good argument, and I believe that it is appropriate. I see this far too often. It is appropriate to vote no on the bill because we do this all the time. We make so many things illegal and then say, well, don't worry, we're from the government, trust us, we'll figure out when it's right to be enforcing it and when it's not right to be enforcing it. It reminds me of a bill many, many years ago when I was in the House that literally by its construction made it illegal to sell pots and pans in a hardware store if there was any suspicion that it might be used for a meth lab. Well, what does that mean? And that goes on, that would be on the store clerk's shoulders and on the owner of the shop's shoulders. That doesn't make sense to me. That's not good law. Good law needs to be identifying what the prohibition is or the crime is and having it as clear as possible. And when we make these broad strokes that says anything that can be used for this is now classified in this case as a, let's see, a nicotine product. You know, specifically, it's page 3. It's lines 20 and following. A nicotine product means a product that contains nicotine or electronic device that can be used to deliver nicotine, and I'm not finding all the words on here, but the the center, well, I believe it's through the amended process, we dropped off the word electronic, and that means it's any device that can be used to deliver nicotine. And the previous speaker here was very accurate in saying that could mean a 2-liter bottle of pop with a little bit of hose, and voila, you've got some device that people use to smoke whatever with. And that I do not believe is appropriate law, and I'm a no vote today.
Further discussion? Senator Lambert?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to ask the bill sponsor here, I just had a technical concern about this, and maybe would suggest the possibility of a friendly amendment. We do have sales of tobacco products on military reservations and on, Indian tribal lands in Colorado. That issue had come up when we were changing Colorado law about putting I guess there's like a little stamp that they put over the top of a carton of cigarettes that has to be, the sales tax stamps, and that cannot apply to those that are sold in like a military commissary, a BX, or something like that. And the way that had been proposed, several years ago, but there was a problem of division of powers between the state and the federal government because they don't tax those stamps in those facilities, and the law would have been written in such a way that anybody who had one of these cartons of cigarettes or something that had been sold in a military installation, if they took it off base, they could have been liable to local criminal charges for possessing one of these. And I think that was a reasonable discussion we had, and we put in an exclusion for those that are sold at military bases and so forth. And my question is this something that we should consider here because of it'd be like a local requirement that would mandate this perhaps at a military base, and I'm wondering if we need to clarify that by just putting in a little codicil on the bill to say that this does not apply to military or let's say federal government facilities where they are selling tobacco products, because that could get into some get crosswise with the federal regulations on these and just complicate the whole thing. So I was wondering if what the sponsor would like to do, or if we'd like a senatorial 5 or something like that to just discuss what you'd like to do.
Senator Nicholson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd be happy to work on amendment with Senator Lambert for third reading if this passes second reading. I don't think there is a problem, but I think we can certainly talk about it, and if there is, we can work together to get it resolved. I wanted also to respond to some of the other comments that were made. This, members, is a device that's specifically designed to deliver nicotine, and I'd be happy to show it to any of you. It happens to be flavored with strawberry, and I believe that it is appropriate for us to be saying that the devices that are delivering nicotine to children is not appropriate either and should be illegal. I think it is very unlikely that a policeman who saw some creative kid using a Coke can would confiscate the Coke can. I don't really think that law enforcement's going to do that. I think that it's going to be obvious when it's a device that is very specifically designed for the purpose of delivering nicotine. Finally, I wanted to add that in committee, in the Health and Human Services Committee, the retailers came and testified and said that they are very supportive of this bill because they needed the clarification and very much appreciate the signs that are required so that their staff are operating in a legal manner when they sell to adults and not to minors.
Further discussion on Senate Bill 18? Senator Hill?
Colleagues, I just wanted to give an example. I agree completely with the signage changes and those requirements. It adds transparency and actually helps out the retailers. I agree completely. Here's my concern. This is what's on your desk today. Again, I tell you, it doesn't taste that good. This is what these dissolvables, these chewable nicotine products look like. This is my Shaklee vitamin that's in my desk. And it's in the exact same kind of packaging. My concern is by not just the signage requirements, but anything that can add to the delivery of nicotine, we are effectively banning the delivery of my multivitamins in our attempt to ban kids, which this is already illegal, but by expanding it to include the packaging or anything else, I'm concerned we're actually really jeopardizing a lot of the other things that potentially a retailer might sell, as well as a producer might put their products in. So that's my broader concern, and why I encourage you, yes, let's support the signage requirements. Let's expand this and make it clear that we're banning all nicotine distribution to minors, which is already illegal, but let's make that clear and let's make it transparent. But the amendment we added in there that says any device that can deliver nicotine is way too broad and puts people in adds too much liability in selling normal everyday products.
Senator Marble.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to address some of the things, I know this bill is well intended, but I just don't think it's going to achieve the intent. Right now, we already have laws that make it illegal to sell nicotine products to people under the age of 18. We have a liquor store. We are very, very aware of what happens to us if we do, by mistake. We card everybody. But even though liquor stores, convenience stores, supermarkets, tobacco places that are around our communities take great diligence in adhering to the law, 10 and 11-year and 12-year-olds are still smoking. This isn't going to fix that. We already have laws on the books that say it is illegal. Education on this is critical, but I just don't think this is the way to go about achieving what you want. And it is opening the door to looking at other devices as being able to administer nicotine. We talked about earlier, and this just isn't going to do it. So I am a no on Senate Bill 18.
Further discussion of Senate Bill 18? Senator Crowder.
I voted no for this in committee. I think this is a nanniest bill. I think that there is, like the previous senator said, there's already laws on the books. But I think the people of the state of Colorado are getting tired of the attempted continuation of the nannyism to pull this down to every level. I was glad to hear that the smoking devices were not part of this, because that might infringe on the marijuana smoking that we have in the state. So I stand as a no vote, and hope you would join with me. Thank you.
Further discussion on Senate Bill 18, Senator Nicholson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If we could have a senatorial 5, we believe that we are going to have an amendment so that we don't need to offer an amendment on third reading, and it will just take us a couple minutes.
We'll have a senatorial 5 for preparation of the amendment. Majority Leader Heath.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to move we lay over Senate Bill 18 and move it to the back of the calendar and proceed with Senate Bill 17. This is only one bill.
It's only 17. Motion before us is to lay over Senate Bill 18 and proceed with Senate Bill 17. To the next bill on the calendar? It's actually going to be to the end of the second reading of Bill's calendar. So all those in favor of laying over Senate Bill 18, say aye. Those opposed? Senate Bill 18 is laid over to the end of the calendar. Senator Roberts, Hodge. Mr. Majors, would you please read Senate Bill 17, the title?
Senate Bill 17 by Senators Roberts and Hodge and Representatives Vigil and Coram concerning a limitation on the approval of real estate developments that use water rights decreed for agricultural purposes to irrigate lawn grass.
Senator Hodge.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 17, and I move the Agriculture, Livestock, and Energy Committee report.
To the committee report, Senator Hodge.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy Committee added the ability for HOAs to be enforcers of this, and they also made sure that we knew that local governments had the discretion for when approval happens. I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion of the Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy Committee report? Seeing none, those in favor of the committee report say aye.
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 Those opposed? Committee report is adopted. Mr. Majors, would you please read there's an amendment on the desk. Would you please read Amendment 7?
Amendment L007 to Senate Bill 17 by Senator Roberts, strike the Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy Committee report dated February 6, 2014, and substitute, quote, amend printed bill, strike everything below the enacting clause and substitute Section 1, legislative direction. The General Assembly hereby.
Senator Hodge, Senator Roberts. Senator Roberts.
Thank you, Madam Chair. L007 is a strike below, but it bases off the bill. So if possible, I would like to proceed with discussing Senate Bill 17.
Senator Roberts, would you please move Amendment 7?
Oh, I thought we did. Sorry. We move L007.
Thank you. Thank you. To the amendment. Any further discussion of the amendment?
Madam Chair?
Senator Roberts.
Thank you. L007 basically works off of Senate Bill 17, although it refers it to the Water Resources Review Committee. I think it's probably worthwhile then to discuss Senate Bill 17 so you know what matters we're referring to. We'd like to refer to the Water Resources Review Committee. Senate Bill 17 is an effort to move toward intelligent water usage, which is a phrase that actually comes out of Douglas County, which has done a lot of work on xeriscaping, yes. So the goals of this bill, we had a robust discussion in Ag Committee, and the goals of this bill are to reduce water consumption in the municipal setting. 75% of the outdoor irrigation water that's used in the residential area is evaporated. It's the largest consumption of water at the residential use. The other goal of this bill, Senate Bill 17, is to promote agricultural production in Colorado by recognizing the impact and the connection between municipal usage of water and then the ag usage of water. You have on your desks a magazine from 2012, Headwaters, which has a lot of great information about water usage in Colorado's ag production. I'd like to, in particular, point you to page 8, and just there's some startling statistics that I think a lot of us take for granted. To get a tomato, it takes 5.7 gallons of water. One potato is 7.7 gallons of water. Lettuce, 2.9 gallons of water. Your hamburger you might have for lunch, 406.9 gallons of water. So a lot of us don't realize how much water it takes to produce the food we eat, yet many of us truly appreciate agricultural production, especially in our state. So this bill seeks to draw that connection between how Colorado uses its water, not only on the farms and ranches, but also in the municipalities. We also seek, as a goal of this bill, to extend Colorado's water supply, both for the current residents and those to come. The charts that you see up front here are information from Colorado State Demographer. It doesn't really matter where you live in the state of Colorado. You might really want to look at the demographer's information. It's pretty amazing how our state is expected to grow. I look at, in particular, the two water basins in my area that are on the chart here, and it's my first chance to use my laser pointer, so I'm really kind of excited. In the southwest region, oh, look here, Senator Harvey. So in the Southwest region, we are expected to have 90.6% growth by 2040. My other water basin, the Colorado Basin, 72.3% growth. That is in 2040. So you might say, why do I care about how Colorado uses its water? Those numbers for me are very, very relevant. I think the numbers for all of you, if you look at the chart that shows what the population forecast for the metro area is, really numerically, where is that huge growth going to happen? Right here. And again, there are many good efforts being made on a municipal level, and on your desk you also should have the entire packet of information from the state demographer, because I think it is something that no matter where you stand on this bill, you might really want to contemplate what the future of Colorado is, and how do we plan appropriately? How do we deal with our most precious resource, water? I also wanted to have you take a look at this picture. Senator Kafalis, I want to make sure I don't shine it in your eyes. Over here, the picture to the far right here on the floor is a dust storm that was in Springfield, Colorado in the 1930s. We've already heard this session that the dust storms in southeast Colorado are beginning to start again. When I had a conversation with an Aurora House member about this bill, she mentioned that water is getting so expensive in Aurora that folks are letting their lawns go dry. Because their lawns are going dry, their lawns are going up in dust storms. So when she goes out to walk in her neighborhood, she said that there are serious dust storms in Aurora. What we're trying to do with this bill is, again, make the connection between how does Colorado use its water not only out in the agricultural world, but in the municipalities. I definitely want to acknowledge the efforts that municipalities have made. And again, I would point to last year we received, I don't know how many people watched the DVD, but we got a DVD on xeriscaping. This DVD comes from Douglas County because, again, there's a real recognition across the state in urban and rural areas that we have a real challenge ahead of us in terms of conserving our water. If you haven't had a chance to look at this DVD, it shows you all the options that are not leading us to a Phoenix or Las Vegas landscape. It's a Colorado landscape. But it's a landscape in our front yards that actually matches our topography and our climate. We're in the middle of a huge drought, and I didn't hand out to you, but the snowpack, it was mentioned earlier this week that the snow is great in the state of Colorado. It is in certain areas. I will tell you, in my area, it is not. We are not yet to 100% of snowpack. And having one good year of lots of snow doesn't mean that you're out of a drought by any stretch. And we've known that. We know that in recent history. Even just in the last couple of years, you'll get a really good snow year, and the next year it'll be an incredible low snow pack. So this bill, again, is an effort to try and make that connection. And honestly, when I have talked to the average citizen, they welcome the opportunity about how to address drought. People understand. It's sort of when you move up the organizational food chain that I think I hit more of the static about this bill. There was discussion of whether or not this reduces property values, whether it's for agriculture or the personal residents. I think it's important to know that Colorado Farm Bureau, Colorado Cattlemen's both support this bill, Senate Bill 17 in its original form. They also support the amendment that would send it to Water Resources Review Committee. If you have a chance to watch the DVD that comes out of Douglas County, you'll learn that when people do xeriscaping, landscaping on their property, it actually increases the value. Again, anecdotally, people have said to me, boy, I don't really actually enjoy spending so much time trying to keep my grass green because, in fact, Colorado is a semi-arid environment. It's not the same thing as growing a lawn in Oregon or Pennsylvania. So with that, I would just say that for me, this bill is evidence that the state of Colorado recognizes the leadership role that it can and should take as it relates to water conservation. It is to work with municipalities, but it is also to set a standard that with new development, starting in 2016, there would be a reduction in the lawn size, turf grass, that matches our environment more than what we have today. With that, I will turn it to Senator Hodge for anything additional she might want to add.
Senator Hodge.
Thank you. And I just move L007. It indicates that the Water Resources Review Committee is the proper place for this to be heard. In the Water Resources Review Committee, we have the time to bring in the expertise and to bring in the broad range of people who are affected to sit down together and talk about what we can do to lessen ag buy and dry, and to make our communities more in line with our arid climate.
Further discussion, Amendment L007, Senator Renfro.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As I see this amendment, it's going to have the committee look at all municipal water consumption and try to limit that. I'd like a ruling from the chair if this amendment fits under the title, since the title is concerning the approval of real estate developments that use water rights. I don't think that this amendment fits under the title because it's expanding it to all municipal water use instead of just new development use of water.
We will have a senatorial 5 as we review the title. Senate Committee of the Whole will come back to order. And the chair rules that Amendment 007 fits under the title of Senate Bill 17. Senator Roberts. For discussion, Senator Hodge.
Any further discussion?
Is there further, Senator Zenzinger? Somebody.
Thank you. I rise in support of the amendment. The bill in its original form, I just couldn't support. I had some real issues about the impact to local government. In particular, I felt that the original bill was unenforceable, and so because of the amendment, I was able to change my position on this bill and support it. So I would encourage an aye vote on the amendment.
Further discussion, Amendment 007? Seeing none, the motion before us is the adoption of Amendment 007. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Amendment 7 is adopted. And to the bill, is there further discussion of Senate Bill 17 as amended? Senator Renfro.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
I'm sorry. We'll have the sponsors. Senator Roberts.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to reinforce, we have some wonderful resources in the state of Colorado. The Headwaters magazine is put out by the Colorado Foundation for Water Education, and this is put out, I believe, quarterly. Great information, both for you and your constituents. But I would point out that the most recent issue of Headwaters, winter 2014, talks about the fine and fun art of engaging people around water. In that issue, it talks about Coloradans' concern about the drought. Cerulli Associates in 2013 did a poll. 86% of Coloradans said that they're concerned about the drought. Again, I think Coloradans are looking to see how can they make a difference, and I think this bill helps get them there. Thank you.
Senator Renfro.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Now that it's a study going to the committee, I would ask the sponsors if they think it would be appropriate for this to also, instead of just study the best practices to limit municipal outdoor water consumption, if we're truly concerned about the water consumption, and you talked about how much water it takes to farm, why aren't we looking at agricultural consumption also? Why aren't we looking at that? Because there have been advances in farming practices that are much more efficient, and why aren't we studying that if we're going to be honest? Why are we just attacking our green lawns?
Senator Roberts.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, I don't view this actually as an attack on green lawns, and in fact, 15% can be lawn. So I'm not an anti-lawn person, but what I would say is we deal with ag conservation, in fact, just yesterday in Agricultural Committee. So we are dealing with conservation in the agricultural area. But this in particular, municipal and residential use is the focus of this bill, and that's what we've asked the Water Resources Review Committee to take a look at. We think the fine point to this is very warranted, and it's time to do that. So that's what this bill is for.
Further discussion? Senator Renfro.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think it's inappropriate, though, to look at just one piece of the pie. Why not look at the entire picture of it? And I think that we're missing the opportunity to study this properly and come to the right conclusions, because when you study just one thing, of course you can always come to a conclusion through that there's something that needs to be done, but when you prioritize it within the bigger picture, you might have a different outcome and a different result. I think it's clear we all want water, we all want to preserve property rights, hopefully, and I think to do that, we should look at the bigger picture, and we should see how all water use could be conserved and used to its best beneficial use, as opposed to just one faction of that water.
Senator Marble.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's a few things about this bill that I want to address, but first I want to start with is, thank you so much. one that I would like to start with is, yes, we do not use our water wisely. We don't. 60% of our water runs out of our state. We need water storage. That's what we need. That is something that we have been after for decades, and yet no real effort has been made to build those water storage units, which could hold millions of acre feet by now over the last 12 years. Look at what happened and how we would have diverted a lot of the flood waters had we had water storage. That's what we need to do, not do more restrictions. I just don't see, we can restrict ourselves into oblivion and into the biggest dust bowl we've ever seen. But we have missed the greatest opportunities, you know, with the floods that we had this last September, to gain the water storage that we need. 60% of that water, it's just running through our state, and we aren't doing anything about it. This bill is also an unfunded mandate for local governments that will have to increase expenditures for development to adopt, enforce new resolution, ordinance, and ongoing costs to ensure adherence to the 15%. And this bill treats all turf the same, and thus it has no value. Lawns contribute to stormwater control, the value of property, outdoor recreation, urban ecosystems for healthy air, water, and soil. Lawn irrigation is curtailed in droughts, as lawns are a resilient resource, and municipalities are promoting new grasses that require sustainability or substantially less water, yet are as durable and as aesthetically pleasing as traditional cool weather turfs. When we mandate things, it just seems as though we curtail innovation and a lot of good quality research that goes on, you know, to develop the things that we're looking for. Yes, we are a semi-arid area. We've known that since people moved here long time ago. Not exactly sure when the first person hit the state of Colorado. But you have to take into consideration that every community is unique and should be able to locally choose which conservation programs work for them. And this bill will diminish that local control. These are just a few of the problems that I have with Senate Bill 17. And I would like to see a good bill come through that develops water storage and really, really address our water conservation needs.
Senator Hodge.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would remind everyone that this is not a mandate on anybody. It is now, if we pass this amendment, a study by the Water Resources Review Committee. It doesn't talk about 15% lawn. It doesn't talk about ordinances. It talks about a study over the summer.
Further discussion of Senate Bill 17? Seeing none, the motion before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 17. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Senate Bill 17 is adopted. Mr. Majority Leader. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title to Senate Bill 125?
Senate Bill 125 by Senators John and Harvey and Representatives Pabon and Zabel concerning the regulation of transportation network companies and in connection therewith requiring transportation network companies to carry liability insurance, conduct background checks on transportation network company drivers, inspect transportation network company vehicles, and obtain a permit from the Public Utilities Commission.
Senator Heath.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move we lay over Senate Bill 125 until Friday, February 28th.
The motion before us is to lay over Senate Bill 125 until Friday, February 28th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Senate Bill 125 is laid over. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title of Senate Bill 22?
Senate Bill 22 by Senator Cafalas and Representative Fields concerning certified community development financial institutions in connection therewith authorizing the investment of public funds in such institutions and allowing the institutions to present a request for full or partial release of collateral pledged without presentation of the original promissory note.
Senator Heath.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move we lay over Senate Bill 22 until Friday, February 28th.
The motion before us is to lay over Senate Bill 22 until Friday, February the 28th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Senate Bill 22 is laid over. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title to Senate Bill 18?
Senate Bill 18 by Senators Nicholson and Jones and Representatives Hamner and Young concerning the prohibition against furnishing nicotine products to persons under 18 years of age.
Senator Lambert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. When we last met on Senate Bill 18, I talked about a friendly amendment to clarify the sale and distribution of tobacco or nicotine products on military reservations and Indian tribal lands. I move.
Oh, excuse me, Senator Lambert. I first actually need to have Senator Nicholson remove.
We remove.
Move again. Senate Bill 18, and then we'll have you move that amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 18.
Mr. Majors, there's an amendment on the floor, on the desk. Would you please read Amendment 4?
Amendment L004 to Senate Bill 18 by Senator Lambert. Amendment Health and Human Services Committee report dated February 12, 2014, page 1.
Senator Lambert.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I move L004 to Senate Bill 18. As I was saying, this just clarifies respect for the federal law in those areas, military bases and Indian reservations, just to add clarity that they are under a different system of distribution, and so we don't get crosswise with the feds.
Further discussion, Amendment 004, Senator Nicholson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, I would encourage you to vote for L004. In the spirit of Senate Bill 18, we are really clarifying language regarding the fact that we don't want minors to have access to tobacco and nicotine products, and really L004 is also a clarifying amendment regarding who has jurisdiction over which parts of the state, so I think this is perfectly appropriate.
Further discussion of Amendment 4? Seeing none, the motion before us is the adoption of Amendment 004. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Amendment 4 is adopted, and back to the bill, Senators Jones and Nicholson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I renew my motion for the adoption of Senate Bill 18 on second reading.
Seeing no further discussion of Senate Bill 18, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed? Say no. Senate Bill 18 is adopted. Majority Leader Heath.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move we rise and report.
Motion before us is to rise in the report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? Committee of the Whole will rise and report.
The Senate will come back to order. Senator Schwartz.
And thank you, Madam President. I move for the adoption of the report. Excuse me. Thank you, Madam President. The committee has had several bills under consideration. Mr. Majors, would you please read the report? Out of myself.
February 21st, 2014, Madam President, your committee of the whole pays reports item consideration of the following tax bills, being second reading thereof, makes following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 110 is amended, Senate Bill 17 is amended, Senate Bill 18 is amended, passed on second reading and ordered and engrossed, placed on the counter for third reading and final passage. Senate Bills 125 and 22 laid over until February 28th, 2014, retaining their place on the calendar.
Senator Schwartz.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for the adoption of the report.
Any discussion on the Committee of the Whole report? Seeing none, the question for the body is the adoption of the Committee of the Whole report. Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, Committee of the Whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 110 is amended, Senate Bill 17 is amended, Senate Bill 18 is amended, passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 125, Senate Bill 22 laid over until February 28, 2014 and retaining their place on the calendar. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, just to remind you all, we have governor's appointments coming out of committees with unanimous report. We're moving the consent calendar. That's the same this morning. And so with that, we will proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Majors. Would you please read the appointments?
Member of the Waste Hire Advisory Committee for a term expiring September 9th, 2016, Richard K. Well of Centennial, Colorado, to serve as a waste hire processor, reappointed. Members of the Energy Impact Assistance Advisory Committee for terms expiring August 24th, 2017, Kelly Eugene Arnold of Windsor, Colorado, appointed. Vicki L. Spencer of Gunnison, Colorado, reappointed. George B. Shioshita of Lahuna, Colorado, reappointed.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for the confirmation of all the appointments on the consent calendar, including a member of the Waste Hire Advisory Committee and members to the Energy Impact Assistance Advisory Committee.
Is there any discussion on any of the appointments? Seeing none, the question for the body is the adoption, or is the confirmation of the appointments. Are there any no votes on any of the appointments? With 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, and 0 excused, Richard K. Well is confirmed to the Waste Hire Advisory Committee. With 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, and 0 excused, Kelly Eugene Arnold, Vicki L. Spencer, George B. Shioshita are confirmed to the Energy Impact Assistance Advisory Committee. Introduction of resolutions. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title to Senate Joint Resolution 16?
Senate Joint Resolution 16 by Senators Grantham and Nicholson and Representatives Becker and Wright concerning the renaming of the tunnels located within Clear Creek County and commonly referred to as the Twin Tunnels as the Veterans Memorial Tunnels.
Transportation. Introduction of bills.
House Bill 1110 by Representative Penniston and Senator Hodge concerning procedures governing discussions by boards of education and school districts while meeting in executive session.
Judiciary.
House Bill 1121 by Representatives Kraft, Tharp, and Jerome, Senator John concerning notice requirements for county highway contract bid solicitations and in connection therewith increasing the threshold value of a contract for which a county must advertise in a newspaper in the county or post notice in the county courthouse from $5,000 to the amount at which the contractor requires a contractor's bond.
Transportation.
House Bill 1126 by Representatives Williams and Buckner and Senator Nicholson concerning the requirement to include notification to a patient regarding the patient's breast tissue classification with the required mammography report.
Health and Human Services.
House Bill 1160 by Representatives Mitch Bush and Corman and Senators Todd and Herpin concerning overweight vehicle permits for divisible loads.
Transportation.
House Bill 1177 by Representative Swalm and Senator Toptrop concerning requirements governing meetings of the boards of county commissioners of the larger counties.
Local government.
House Bill 1194 by Representative Jerome and Senator Lambert concerning the recreation of the Legislative Digital Policy Advisory Committee.
State Veterans and Military Affairs.
House Bill 1215 by Representative Janal and Senator Toptrop concerning the ability of a federal home loan bank to reinforce its rights with regard to collateral subject to a security agreement.
Business, Labor, and Technology. Message from the House.
February 21st, 2014, Madam President, the House has passed on third reading and transmitted the advisory statutes, House Bills 1229 and 1208. The House has passed on third reading and transmitted the advisory statutes, House Bill 1224 as amended. The House has passed on third reading and transmitted the advisory statutes, Senate Bill 47 as amended. And the House has adopted and returns to with Senate Joint Resolution 4.
Committee reports.
February 20th, 2014, Madam President, the Committee on Health and Human Services had under consideration and sat hearing on the following appointment recommends the appointment be confirmed. Member of the Hospital Provider Fee Oversight and Advisory Board for term expiring May 15, 2015, John Gardner of Yuma, Colorado, an employee of a rural hospital, Colorado, and to fill the vacancy occasioned by the resignation of Henry Garvin of Alamosa, Colorado, appointed. February 20th, 2014, Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration, the Mayor's Committee recommends the following House Bill 1022 be referred to the Committee of the Whole, favorable recommendation. February 19, 2014, Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration, the Mayor's Committee recommends the following House Bill 1083 be referred to the Committee of the Whole, favorable recommendation, and with the recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. February 20th, 2014, Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration, the Mayor's Committee recommends the following House Bill 1099 be referred to the Committee of the Whole, favorable recommendation, with the recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. February 20, 2014, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy, after consideration, the Mayor's Committee recommends the following House Bill 1008 be referred to the Committee of the Whole, favorable recommendation. February 20, 2014, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy, after consideration, the Mayor's Committee recommends the following Senate Bill 93 be amended as follows and as so amended before the Committee of the Whole, favorable recommendation. February 20th, 2014, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following Senate Bill 23 be amended as follows and as so amended before the committee of the whole. Favorable recommendation. February 20th, 2014, the Committee on Agriculture, Madam President, the Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy is under consideration and has had hearing on the following appointments and recommends the appointments be confirmed. Members of the Groundwater Commission for terms expiring May 1st, 2017. Gregory Larson of Haxton, Colorado, resident agriculturist from the Northern High Plains Basin, appointed, and Scott W. Tatemeyer, Hereford, Colorado, resident agriculturist from the Upper Big Sandy Basin, appointed. February 20th, 2014, Madam President, the Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy has had under consideration and has had hearing on the following appointments and recommends the appointments be confirmed. Members of the Water Quality Control Commission for terms expiring February 15th, 2017. Lauren Elizabeth Evans of Lakewood, Colorado, reappointed. Charles A. Wanner of Durango, Colorado, to serve as a representative who lives west of the Continental Divide, appointed. And David Baumgarten of Gunnison, Colorado, to serve as a representative who lives west of the Continental Divide, appointed. February 20th, 2014, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy, after consideration, the Mayor's Committee recommends the following House Bill 1005 be referred to the Committee of the Whole. Favorable recommendation. February 20th, 2014, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy, after consideration, the Mayor's Committee recommends the following Senate Bill 142 be referred to the Committee of the Whole. Favorable recommendation, with the recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. February 21st, 2014, Committee on Appropriations, after consideration, the Mayor's Committee recommends the following House Bill 1050 be referred to the Committee of the Whole. Favorable recommendation, with the recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. February 21st, 2014, Committee on Appropriations, after consideration, the Mayor's Committee recommends the following Senate Bill 29 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee of the Whole. Favorable recommendation. February 21st, 2014, Committee on Appropriations, after consideration, the Mayor's Committee recommends the following Senate Bill 49 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee of the Whole. Favorable recommendation, with the recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. February 21st, 2014, Committee on Appropriations, after consideration on the Mayor's Committee recommends the following Senate Bill 134 be postponed indefinitely. February 21st, 2014, Committee on Appropriations. After consideration, the Mayor's Committee recommends the following Senate Bill 129 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee of the Whole. Favorable recommendation.
Signing of bills.
You know?
February 20th, 2014, the President has signed Senate Bills 4, 19, and 25. February 20th, 2014, the President has signed House Bills 1232, 1233, 1234, 1235, 1236, 1237, 1238, 1239, 1240, 1242, 1243, 1244, 1245, 1246, 1247, 1248, and 1249. February 20th, 2014, the President has signed Senate Joint Resolutions 5, 8, 13, and 14.
Delivery to the Governor.
To the Governor for signature on Friday, February 21st, 2014 at 8 o'clock a.m., Senate Bills 4, 19, and 25.
Announcements. Senator Aguilar.
Thank you, Madam President. Our Department of Human Services is having a display between 1:30 and 3:30 about the CSTAT information that they've collected in the last 2 years. You might find this interesting to see what kind of work they're doing. And then secondly, those of you born between 45 and 65, it's recommended that you get tested for hepatitis C, and there is a free test here on Monday between 8 and 10 a.m., and you don't have to be fasting.
Senator Kafalis.
Thank you, Madam President. Good morning, everyone. Just a reminder, this Tuesday from 5 to 7 at the University Club, Colorado State University. It's part of their Ag Day. They are going to hold a reception. A number of you have already RSVP'd, but I just wanted to remind you that this event is occurring. I'll have a flyer again on our desks on Monday, but just a reminder, Tuesday 5 to 7, University Club, CSU Ag Day reception.
Senator Nicholson. We're at announcements. Senator Nicholson.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to remind everyone that the dentists have joined us today in the Capitol. They are inviting us to share a lunch with them upon adjournment or at noon in room 356.
Senator Baumgartner.
Thank you, Madam President. And this has been, this is a letter that was sent to us from a young lady that we bought her beef at the National Western Stock Show, and she just sent a letter of appreciation and asked if I would read it. It says, "My name is Sydney Moreau. I am 14 years old and attend high school in Pueblo, Colorado. Other than showing my project, I participate in other activities like basketball, volleyball, and track. I am also a National Honor Society student. I really appreciate you buying my steer at the National Western Stock Show. Thank you for rewarding me for my accomplishments. I appreciate that you took the time out of your day to support me. Sincerely," and then she signed it. So these, again, just when we do this, we do it for the kids, and they actually do appreciate it. She just sent this letter to thank us. So thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Senator Kerr.
Thank you, Madam President. And for all you college basketball fans, for all of you CU fans, for all you folks who just love when the National Sports Spotlight is here in Colorado, listen up. The Buffs are getting ready for game day, senior day, and the blackout tomorrow. Saturday will be any sports fan's dream in Boulder. For more than 16 hours, the college basketball watching world will have their sights set on the Coors Event Center. It's game day, it's senior day, and it's a blackout. And to top it off, the newest sport makes its home debut. CU fans are invited to join ESPN's College Game Day crew Saturday morning as they bring their popular weekly college basketball pregame show to the Event Center for the first time. This show sets the table for the evening's all-important Pac-12 showdown between the Buffs and the fourth-ranked Arizona. So they're actually opening the doors at 6 a.m. This is an all-day affair up in Boulder. The national spotlight will be on our Buffs. They've had a few injuries the last month or so, but we'd really like to get all the fans out there and excited for this game tomorrow evening. Oh, and one other thing, you might notice I actually put on my CU tie to make the announcement, so go Buffs.
Senator Renfro.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is exciting for CU and for Colorado. Pretty amazing what they've done, what Coach Boyle has done, the Greeley native who is their head coach over there. I think last game they went over 20 wins for the season, which that's the fourth time in his career at CU, and I think that's only their 8th time in their history of CU. So that shows you where the program's at and where they're going, and it's an exciting time for basketball in Colorado. So I turned the cameras off real quick. Go Buffs. I don't usually say that, so go Buffs.
Senator Todd.
Thank you, Mr. President. Madam President, I was just warned by the Majority Leader not to touch on one other possible subject, so I won't. But I am so excited for Boulder. I am excited that Colorado is becoming a basketball state. And so when we see what's going to go on in Boulder, not only is it going to be what happens on the court, but what happens in our state. So go Buffs. Tad Boyle, you're doing a fabulous job, and there were people that were concerned when there were injuries. I wasn't concerned because the caliber of coach that he is has pulled that team together to a new height. So go Buffs.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm not speaking as Majority Leader, but I can't resist this, representing Boulder and the University of Colorado. And what she was referring to as Tad Boyle played for the University of Kansas. That's why I said don't mention Kansas here. But he is a great coach. It is going to be very exciting. As a season ticket holder since 1970, I feel a little inclined also to encourage all of you to support. This has been an amazing team. Two of their top 5 players are out with injuries, and they've managed to win 20 games. It's been an amazing accomplishment, and the whole basketball world will be on Boulder tomorrow. So thank you, all of you, for mentioning that. Senator Brophy, do you have something?
Senator Brophy.
Thank you, Madam President. All of this talk about basketball makes me think of the best use for a gym floor, and that's when you roll wrestling mats out inside of a gym. And I wanted to remind you then that the state championship wrestling tournament is being held right now in Denver. So if any of you are interested in watching the real sport that uses the gym appropriately, go down and check out the Colorado State Wrestling Championships.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, and I think Senator Zenzinger's father is going to be there, as she mentioned yesterday. I don't see any other announcements, and with that, I would just say the JBC is not meeting today, and with that, Madam President, I would move that the Senate adjourn until 10 a.m. Monday, February 24th.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. The Senate will adjourn until 10 a.m. Monday, February 24th.